Welcome back, guys. Automotive Inc. Today we're working on a 2015 Kia Sorento. Now this will cross over to many Tucson models, but definitely 2011 to like 2015, 16. And we're going to be replacing the front sway bar links. Before we get started, if you don't mind, smash subscribe and helps the small channel out, thumbs up and notification bell. So the reason why we're going to change these out is this is the old one and had the car in at Kia. And I noticed that just pulling out of the garage, there was kind of like just a little clunk sound in the front end. Checked the struts, checked everything, couldn't seem to find anything. Well, I had to go in for a recall, so I said, hey, could you guys take a look at it? They came up with the lower sway bar inner bushings they thought were bad. Now that job looked a little bit more than what I could do in my garage real quick. Now this job is going to be much quicker, but I let them do it. That would end up being $1,100, and then they called back and said, well, they were worn, but that we still hear a sound, so now we're recommending sway bar end links at $500 plus. To do it, I knew that these were not expensive. I've done these on a lot of vehicles because these are pretty super easy. I will show you the lower sway bar bushings. Probably could have done it, but anyway. So these are like 27 bucks on Amazon. You're going to need a 17 millimeter wrench, the stock jack, and if you have a floor jack or somebody else that can help you, that'd be good. Otherwise, you can use a stack of blocks, and I'll show you that here in a second, just to ease on getting this bad boy out. So first things first, get out your jack up the car, put blocks behind the wheels, because remember, it's a front wheel drive, so the rear wheels will roll if both are off the ground, but you can do one side at a time. So I won't bore you with taking the wheel off, but we're going to take this off. You can take that with your tire iron or an impact gun. Now, if you can see in here, guys, here is our lower sway arm. And way back in there, you can see some, like, two rusty nuts. There's a bushing in there. Let's see if I can get some light in there. Right there, you can see just to the left of that, that's new rubber bushing. So this one involved dropping a big portion of this front frame piece to swap those out. That's why I thought I'd let them do it. So those are definitely good. From this point, it would just be replacing the struts if the thunk is still there. Again, there's no drivability issues, so it's not like I was overly concerned. It's just something about the unnerving sound of that thunking. Now, I've already done the other side. Without being able to take the suspension up and stuff, it's hard to get under here and wiggle it and find anything loose, because again, we have a lot of tension from the frame and the body and the struts. So these are pretty simple. On the back side of this, there is a 17 millimeter. So if this starts spinning, this is just 17 millimeter. Probably gonna need a breaker bar, especially if you live in a place where there's lots of rust. And we have another 17 on the back side of this guy down here. And so now we're just going to remove these two nuts real quick. Now, like I said, you may need a breaker bar, you may need some break free. But when we get in here, the struts themselves don't look bad. But it would be our last resort because this is the most expensive. Those lower bushings are about 50 bucks for you to snag them. These are less than $30. And then these are going to be several $100s. So obviously we want to replace those pieces. Now, none of these pieces are going to require you to get a new alignment. It's only going to be if you're messing with your actual alignment areas of the steering. So let's go ahead and remove the 217s. Now what I mean by is this will start spinning. So just slide a box in 17 millimeter on the back side of that, and then get your socket socket wrench. Come on now. And let's get this nut off. All right, from there, guys, you're probably going to use a little bit of, you need to relieve a little bit of tension off of it. Now you can go on the back side of this lower control arm and bring it up. And then once you get both sides off, it'll pop loose. So one thing I didn't see on either one of these is anything all that bad. Now you can take your hand and kind of move them around. Once you have them off, you might as well just replace them. But once you get them off, like I said, then you're going to notice that the new one, again, is going to be a little bit tall. So this is where you're going to bring this up. Now, if you don't have a secondary jack, you can get a set of wood blocks. And as long as you're not going to be setting on anything underneath here, you can just lower this jack and it'll push it up. So we're going to go ahead and just put the new one in, although I don't see anything overly wrong with these. I don't see the boots aren't cracked, and they both move pretty freely. And this is where it runs into the problem when you have like a tech that's, you know, learning or whatever, or he's going in the thesaurus way, step way, 1, 2, 3, check this. If it does that, replace this. Eventually, it starts at the cheapest route, right? So to them, the bushings, and then these sway bar links, and then of course the last thing would be the strut. There is an upper strut bearing, which is part of a new strut assembly. It looks like a rubber bushing, if you will, that sits at the top. That could be clunking. Based on Kia forums, I'm basically just the guinea pig. It's not the lower sway bar. We're going to do the sway bar links. If that doesn't fix it, then we'll be on to probably new struts, and maybe we'll do a video on that. But anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and get the new one in, and I'll show you how we're going to line it up. Okay, so here we got them tightened down. The torque specs are 89 foot-pounds of torque. If you don't have a torque wrench, get it hella tight. Now these new ones don't have a 17 millimeter on the back, but the way the fitting is on the back of it, as it pulls it tight, it grips. So you do have a hex head here if you need assistance in taking it off or potentially torquing it. But now we're just going to torque it down and put the wheel back on. One thing I did notice, I had picked up the one off the other side. So we can see here on the old one, there's some pressure moving this bad boy around because there's a little ball inside that boot. And here's the other one too. It's still stiff. So, and we come to this end, still stiff. Now we come back over to this guy and look at this. I can move it with my finger. It's all floppy. So I'll probably cut this boot off to see if I can show you. If it broke loose, guys, there's your thunk. You can actually feel like a little knuckle thunk in it. And this one, as strong as my fingers are, I can barely move it because it's still fitted in there. So we're going to get this tightened back down, guys. Again, I use the jack to push the strut up so I get the upper hole done, get the lower bolt, lower piece of this sway bar into the hole. Now we're going to get it torqued down again, 89 and a half foot-pounds of torque. All right, guys, so I got the other one installed, the wheel back on, and I went and cut this boot off, and you can see how this thing is just destroyed in here. It's basically rounded off, and it is just trashed, and it just flops around. Matter of fact, the ball almost comes out of it, out of that metal housing that's inside of here. It's probably some type of nylon bushing inside of there, I guess, if you will. But now that the boot is completely cut, it still moves way easier than this bad boy. Like I said, I can hardly move this with one finger. So I went and drove it, and the thunk is gone. So whether or not the lower sway arm bushings were bad or it was just these turds all along, it's really hard to say. I do want to preface, I wasn't banging on the dealership. It's a great dealership. They did excellent work on my thing, and I know that they have a flow chart, and I know in this case he was right? I've also worked with in other shops where some of the mechanics just kind of throw parts at stuff. And I know some shops where a guy would have been like, I know what exactly that is. It's not those bushings, it's this. But again, the path of least resistance, the lower bushings were a lot more man hours, so that's why it costs more, even though the part is not much more than the sway bar links. But some of these smaller items, you guys can get in there and you can inspect bushings. You saw where those bushings were, so you could jack it up. You can climb underneath there, see if they're cracked, worn, missing, chunks gone. If they look reasonable, then you can tackle this sway bar link pretty easy. The rear has sway bar links typically on a lot of different vehicles. So you can definitely check this out and see if that works for you. Again, from here, it would be struts because we did the lower ones. The control arm bushings look good, so we're good there. But we did end up finding that on the sway bar link, with that basically broke out or worn out, it's just a cheap part. At 100,000 miles, if the car's meticulously maintained and never hits a pothole, which we live in Colorado, so it's a mandate. You can't drive anywhere without smashing your car into a pothole. Just a cheap way to do it. Again, everything's going to be linked down below, guys. The process. If you have a question about this, feel free to ask. You can hit the product links, head over there, go do that. And hopefully this saves you guys some time, some money, some headache, gets rid of some noises that you have. As always, guys, we're going to have tons of content on this. Catch you on the next one.